Hi, fourth graders. So today I'm going to go over 1-13 and we're going to do a couple of examples. I'm going to do them, walk through some important vocabulary and just look at the directions with you guys. And then I'm going to have you independently complete the next few pages in your math workbooks before you see me today. Most of these problems are review again, and it's great practice. And I don't think you're going to have any trouble, but let's get to it. I'm going to share my screen, and I have my math book ready to go. Here we go. So a couple of things. If we're looking up at the top, let me zoom in just a bit. If I'm looking up here, discuss problem types, I want you to just think of different types of problems for each of these exercises. Write an equation for the problem, and then you're going to solve it. So that's what these lines are for. These are for you to decide what equation works best to solve for that variable. Remember, the variable is the unknown number. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the variable. You may remember these. We called them math mountains, I believe in first or second grade that you used them. Sometimes we would call them fact families because you'll notice that depending on what style of math, if you're doing addition or subtraction, you're going to use the same numbers, just in a different order, okay? So you get to decide what equation you're going to do to solve. It's very important, if we are calling this a math mountain, that we know that the two numbers, we could call them add-ins because we're thinking about adding and subtracting. Those are the inverse operations. The two add-ins at the bottom, we could put together to come up with the sum at the top. This is the total, right? So the bottom of the mountain has the two add-ins, and if we put them together, we get the total. Now, if we start like number 3, and we already have a total, well, the variable over here, C, our missing number, that means that we might choose subtraction because we don't know the other add-in. So we have to start with the big number. That means that we would do subtraction. So let's go through. I'm going to start with number 1. I'm solving for A. I do have my total. They are saying that I could do A plus 278 is 747. That's true. I could go that way. Well, if I want to solve for A, I'm going to start with my total, 747. I'm going to take away one of my add-ins, minus 278. And I'm going to have to go down. My numbers are very big. So I'm going to do that equation, and I'm going to solve. I'm going to rewrite it over here. I'm going to make sure that I line my numbers up very well. I may have to do some ungrouping. This one is. I'm starting in the ones place up at the top. I can't take 8 from 7. My neighbor has 4. I'll ungroup it. Taking 1 makes it a 3. And I can give 10 back to the 7. 10 plus 7 is 17. Minus 8 is 9. Ooh, I can't take 7 away from 3. 3 has to be a bigger number than 7, right? But my neighbor's got 7. I'll ungroup. When I take 1, it turns into a 6. 10 go back to the 3, so 10 plus 3 make 13. Minus 7 is 6, and 6 minus 2 is 4. So my answer is 469. That's what A is. A equals 469. And if I check it, 469 plus 278 should equal my total of 747. Okay? So you're going to do one more equation for each of these going across. Now this is another style, and again, it's just like the Math Mountain, being that the total is up at the top. This time, hey, that checks our answer, doesn't it? That got the same answer that we just found for A. So now we know we're correct. You've got the other add-in, and now E is your missing variable or your missing number. Okay? So you decide what your equation is going to look like, and you can write it down and solve for number 4. All right? So down below, let's shrink this up just a little bit. Let's read our directions. Write an equation for the problem, then solve it. So we have to do 2 steps. Write an equation and solve it. I have space on the side, so this is where I'm going to expect to see your equations. Pictures, whatever work you need, this is where you need to show it, okay? The second part says, make a math drawing if you need to. A drawing could be something like these. And if you have another style of drawing, feel free to do that. It says if you need to. I might not need to, so I might not see a drawing, but I am going to see an equation, okay? I'm going to skip down. Let's do number 6 together. You can follow along and solve this. Be doing this so you're ahead. The Great Pyramid of Giza has about 2 million stone blocks. A replica has 1,900,000 fewer blocks. How many blocks are in the replica? I'm going to go back and highlight some important information. The Great Pyramid, I'm seeing a total. 2 million stone blocks. That feels like my big total, okay? Then the replica has 1,900,000 fewer blocks. I'm even going to put a box around fewer. When I hear that key word, that makes me think of subtraction. Now I look to my question. How many blocks are in the replica? Okay. So in my mind, I'm thinking subtraction because the replica has this many fewer than the actual Great Pyramid. So I'm going to make my equation 2 million. I'm going to be really careful to line up my numbers. And the replica has 1,900,000. Yikes, that is a big problem. Look at all those zeros. So I made sure my larger number went on top when I'm doing subtraction. And now I'm just going to start doing it. I'm starting in the ones place up at the top. These are great. These are all zeros. Zeros. I don't need to do any ungrouping until I get right here, right? To the 100,000s place. I don't have anything. My neighbor has 2. Let's ungroup. When I take 1 away, turns into a 1. I give 10 back, so 10 plus 0 is 10. 10 minus 9 is 1, and 1 minus 1 is 0. So I don't record that. 1, 2, 3, comma. So my answer is 100,000 blocks, because when I look in my question, they're asking how many blocks are in the replica. So I'm going to go ahead and put my answer on the lines. Okay, so that's what I'm expecting to see. Again, if you would like to do a drawing, a picture, please go ahead and feel free to use any style that helps you solve these problems. Okay, so you're going to be completing number 5 and 7. And then, of course, you're going to finish these. Then there are more for you to do on the back, okay? These are exactly the same. Again, you're going to show any work along the side, and you're going to write an equation and put your answer down. Okay, let's go ahead and do one more together. Here's number 10. Mary drove her car 2,483 miles during a road trip. Now she has 86,445 miles on her car. How many miles did her car have before her trip? All right, I'm thinking, I want you to be looking. Let's highlight important information. So I know she drove this many miles during her road trip. She has this many miles on her car now. That's an important word, actually. I'm going to make sure that I put that now. So how many miles did she have before? I'm going to put a box around that before. That means that I have to go backwards, right? When I go backwards, that means I'm taking away something. So I'm going to put a minus sign. That makes me feel like, well, I'm going to take her miles now, 86,445 miles, and I'm going to take away from her road trip that she just did. I'm going to make sure I line it up, 2,483. And if I take those road trip miles away, then I will know how many miles she had before this road trip. Let's do it. Start in the ones place, start at the top. 5 minus 3, I can do it, that's 2. When I get to the tens place, this is a smaller number. I can't subtract 8 from 4. My neighbor has 4, so I'm going to ungroup. When I take 1 away, it turns into a 3. I give 10 back to the 4, so 10 plus 4 is 14. 14 minus 8 is 6. I get to the hundreds place. This is smaller than this. I can't take 4 from 3, but my neighbor has 6. Let's ungroup. When I take 1 away, it's now a 5. I give 10 to the 3, so 10 plus 3 is 13. 13 minus 4, 9. 5 minus 2 is 3. And 8 minus 0 is 8. 1, 2, 3. Put down my comma. So there's my answer. Before her trip, she had 83,962. We're talking about miles. So be sure you put your units down. And there it is. So I hope that you did this one with me. You can pause this. You can go back. You can do it again. I do want you to practice the remainder of this page. So there will be 4 word problems for you to do on your own. Okay? One more page, and these will be simple. These are subtracting and money. Subtraction and money, okay? So I just want you to go through. I don't think you'll have any trouble with these. Just solve each problem. If you have money and you like to play with it and you want to use it, please go ahead. But what I'm looking for when I look at this page is your work. So on this side, I want to see equations, drawings, whatever works best for you. All right, 4th graders, good luck. Lots of work for you guys ahead. All right, see you soon.